mainly three types of muscular tissue: striated, unstriated and cardiac tissue. Dear students, now I'll tell you to raise your hands. Yes, you can raise your hands. I'll tell you to walk few steps. Yes, you can do that. Now, I'll tell you to push the food which is there in your stomach to the intestine. Can you do that? No. Why? Let us find out the answer for this. Some muscles are under our control. They work according to our will. So, such muscles we call it as voluntary muscles. So, they are nothing but these striated muscles. These striated muscles work under our control. So, that is why they are also called voluntary muscles. When we see all these muscles which are under our control, they are all invariably attached to the bones, to the skeleton. So, that is why these muscles are also called skeletal muscles. So, dear students, for the same muscle, we have three different names: striated muscle, voluntary muscles or skeletal muscles, or even you can call it as stripped muscles. Why do we call them as striated muscles? It is because they have got light and dark bands. They have got striations. Because of these striations, we call this muscle as striated muscles, because the movement of this muscle, the contraction of this muscle is under our control. These are called voluntary muscles, and because it is attached, this muscle is attached to the bones invariably, these are also called skeletal muscles. And please look at the diagram. Here, these are long cells, long elongated cells. Because of this long elongated tube-like structures, these cells are called fibers. So, these are untouched, there are no branching, you can see the striations, but they are multinucleated. In the single fiber, you can find more than one nucleus. And coming to the next type of muscle, unstriated or unstripped muscle. Are you able to see any striations? No, there are no striations here. That is why we call this muscle as unstriated muscle. Also, this muscle is called visceral muscle or involuntary muscles. As the name itself says, involuntary muscles. When I said to you to push the food from the stomach to the intestine, you couldn't. That is because these muscles which are present in the gastrointestinal tract are not under our control. The contraction and the relaxation of these muscles are not under our control. That is why we call them as involuntary muscles. And they are present where? They are present elsewhere in every organs, and they are responsible for again contraction and relaxation. But the function of this is not under our control. So again, this has got three names: unstriated muscles, visceral muscles. Why visceral muscles? Because it is present in the viscera, in the internal organs. That is why we call them as visceral muscle. And also we call them as involuntary muscles, because the contraction and the relaxation of this muscle is not under our control. Next, coming to cardiac tissue. Is it a voluntary muscle or involuntary muscle? Yes, it is also involuntary muscle. You can't stop your heart beating when I suggest you to stop. Can you? No. So, even this is not under our control. Because it is specific only to the heart, it is called cardiac tissue. Cardiac means the heart. So, it is called cardiac tissue because it is the one which constitutes or which forms heart. And if you can see this, there are light striations compared to this striated muscles, where the striations are dark. Here you can find light striations, and here there are intercellular junctions, and each cell possesses single nucleus. But whereas in this case, each cell possesses more than one nucleus. That is why the striated muscle is multinucleated and cardiac muscle is uninucleated. And what about the unstriated muscles? Yes, of course, it is a long slender-like cells or fibers having single nucleus. This is about the cardiac muscle. What is the speciality of cardiac muscle? It is the autorhythmicity of this muscle. It contracts and relaxes in a rhythm. So, the main speciality of this cardiac muscle is autorhythmicity. This is about the muscular tissue. What is the meaning of muscle? It's mouse. So, this is about the muscular tissue. Now, moving on to the next tissues, that is connective tissues. What is the meaning of connective tissues? The word itself says it connects various tissues. So, let us talk in brief about these tissues. Moving on to the third basic tissue of animals, that is connective tissue. We have various connective tissues, and again, as the name itself says, connective tissue. Connective means it connects various tissues of the body. All the connective tissues in the body has two major components, matrix and the cells. So, every connective tissues in the body has two main components, matrix and cells. Matrix is in turn made up of two components, ground substance and fibers. So, we can write it as matrix is equal to ground substance plus fibers. What are these fibers? Fibers are, as again the name itself suggests, fibers are thread-like structures. So, dear students, there are three types of fibers: white fibers, yellow fibers, and reticulate fibers. Reticular fibers or reticulate fibers. So, we have three types of fibers: white fibers, yellow fibers and reticular fibers. White fiber is also known as collagen, and yellow fiber is also known as elastic fibers, and reticular fibers, it has no other name. So, dear students, now we have studied that connective tissue has two components, matrix and the cell. And again, matrix is made up of two components, ground substance and the fibers. So, we have talked about various types of fibers. There are three types of fibers: white fibers, yellow fibers and reticulate fibers. White fibers are also called collagen fibers, and yellow fibers are also called elastic fibers, and reticulate fibers has no other name. White fibers or collagen fibers are always found in bundles, group of fibers, and elastic fibers or the yellow fibers are found single, and reticulate fibers, as again the name itself says, reticulate means network. So, here the fibers are found in network. So, this is about two components of connective tissue. Now, let us know two important features of this connective tissue. Coming to the features of connective tissue, here the cells are not compactly arranged, they have space in between them. So, we can say that in connective tissue there is intercellular space, and the rest of the space which is not occupied by cells is occupied by the matrix. So, the first important feature of this connective tissue is that the cells have intercellular space. Next important features is that the matrix can be soft, fluid or dense. So, dear students, we have learnt two features of connective tissue, that is matrix can be fluid, loose or dense, and also we have learned that there is intercellular space between the cell in this connective tissue. So, this is about the features of connective tissue. Based on the nature of matrix, whether it is loose, dense or fluid, based on this nature, we have classified all the connective tissues into three major categories: loose connective tissue, dense connective tissue and the fluid connective tissue. It is based on what? Based on the nature of the matrix. If the matrix is loose, then such a connective tissue we call it as loose connective tissue. If the matrix is dense, hard, then such a connective tissue we call it as dense connective tissue. And if the matrix is fluid, which can flow, then we call such a connective tissue as fluid connective tissue. Now let us learn in detail about each of these connective tissues. First, moving on with the loose connective tissue. Dear students, we have three types of loose connective tissue: areolar, adipose and reticular connective tissue. Now we shall discuss about each of them under these headings. Let us know about the matrix, as to what fibers are present in the matrix. Let us know different types of cells present in the connective tissue. Let us know its location and the function of this particular connective tissue. First, we shall learn about areolar connective tissue. Areolar connective tissue has yellow fibers, white fibers and reticular fibers in its matrix. So dear students, this areolar connective tissue has got all the three fibers in the matrix. And coming to the cells, it has fibroblasts, macrophages, plasma cells, and most importantly, the mast cells. So these are the four cells which are present in this areolar connective tissue. Let us see about fibroblasts. Fibroblasts are large, branched, flattened cells. So they are large, flattened and they are branched cells. And what is the function of this? They produce fibers. All these fibers are produced by these fibroblasts. Next, macrophages. These macrophages are also called phagocytes. Again, the word itself says what it is. Phago means to eat, cytes means cell. So these cells eat the cells. Which cells? The bacterial cells. The bacteria which infects the human beings are eaten by these macrophages. Next, what are these plasma cells? Plasma cells are oval in structure and they have very small nucleus and they produce antibodies. Antibodies against what? Against any antigen, any foreign substance. Next, these mast cells are large cell with large nucleus and they have got granules, some packets which are filled with some chemicals, and these chemicals are serotonin and histamines. So this is about 4 types of cells which are present in areolar tissue. Next, let us know its location. Where is this areolar connective tissue present? Dear students, before going into the details of its location, we should know that skin has 2 layers. The one which is outer, it is epidermis, and below that we have one more layer called dermis. So dear students, skin has 2 layers, the outer epidermis and inner dermis, and in between these two is this areolar tissue. So areolar tissue is present in between the outer epidermis and inner dermis layer of the skin, and also it is present beneath this dermis, and just beneath this connective tissue we can find the muscular tissue or the muscle. So this areolar tissue is present in between the epidermis and the dermis, and also between the dermis and the muscle. Next, what is the function of this? Again, it is a connective tissue, so what it does? It connects various tissues. So it connects epidermis with the dermis, and also it connects the dermis with the muscle which is present beneath. So this is about the areolar connective tissue. Let us repeat it again. Areolar connective tissue has got all the 3 types of fibers: yellow fibers, white fibers and reticular fibers, and it has 4 major cells: fibroblasts, macrophages, plasma cells and mast cells. Dear students, we have learned the shape and function of each of them, and we also know the location and function of this areolar tissue. Next, we shall study about the next loose connective tissue, that is adipose tissue. Adipose, as the name itself says, adipose means fat. So this has got its name as adipose because it predominantly contains fat cells. So it predominantly contains fat cells, that is why it has got the name adipose tissue. Let us see what the matrix contains. This matrix contains predominantly the reticular fibers. This matrix contains predominantly reticular fibers, whereas we have seen that areolar connective tissue has the yellow fibers, white fibers and reticular fibers, but this adipose tissue has predominantly reticular fibers. And which are the cells does this contain? These contain adipocytes or fat cells. This adipose tissue contain adipocytes or fat cells. How are these fat cells look like?